last night was fun. The townfolk were really happy that the closest threat is no longer thanks to us. The innkeeper brought up some of his best ale for the small celebration, asked me to try it and tell him how it fares compared to our ales in Dumbro. And of course I was happy to oblige. Benedric didn't stay for long though. He barely tasted what was poured into his cup. The lad needs to loosen up a bit. In the morning, Fluffy and I went to the main hall. He was already there, having breakfast, so we joined him. I wasn't sure you would wake up this early. Well, we still have stuff to do. If we were at the Brewfest, you wouldn't see me until noon. I've never been to Ironforge, only read about it. Maybe one day the light will guide me there. So, that's what you do, lad. Go where the light guides you. If you want to go somewhere, why don't you just go? I am a paladin of the Church of the Holy Light. I have orders, responsibilities. It is the same for you, isn't it? Or are you telling me that you are here because you just wanted to visit the Redridge Mountains? Aye, after all the snow in Dumbro, I really just wanted to see some different colors. Okay, you are right. I'm here because my king asked me to. But I have been out there, exploring for many years with Fluffy. And I intend to do it again. You're too young to just follow orders. Or even if you did, you can still do things just for the joy of it. What do you mean? Well, yesterday we had a victory, but all night you looked like someone just killed your dog. Or this traveling thing. I'm sure the church has some free agents, going wherever they want. They still work, do their duties of course. They just do it on their own terms. As a matter of fact, I believe I've met people like this. It was Cedric, or Joan, or what was his name? Anyway, my point is, you can take your own fate into your hands, not just let the light guide you, you know? But the light is my guide, there's no fate without it. Alright, I just meant... I don't know, doesn't matter. So, our next target. The Orc camp to the north? The Orc camp to the north, indeed. Now, I assume you have read about them in a library. Maybe you've checked some reports from the First War? Yes, that's correct. Obviously, you are aware that reading about them is not the same as facing one. Obviously. I guess the most important thing is not to underestimate them. They look like big, stupid brutes. But they are not like the monsters you have faced so far. They can be smart, cunning. So we need to be smarter. What do you suggest? I already have some ideas. Our best option is to go there after dark. I will sneak around their camp, leave some surprises. You mean traps? Yes. Well, that's not very honorable. Honorable? Where was their honor when they invaded our lands? When they butchered civilians, families, huh? What, you want to challenge the whole clan, one by one? You think they will just stand in line, waiting for their turn for your honorable duel? Listen to me, lad. Once they see us, the whole bloody camp will come. They will kill us in seconds. Then it's just a matter of time until they march against Lakeshire, and everyone you've met in this town will be dead, including your Lady Darcy. She's not mine. Doesn't matter, she will be dead too. Get it? Alright, I get it. Glad to hear that. No, Darcy, everything will be fine. We were just talking here. Breakfast was lovely, thank you. Darn it, I was too loud, wasn't I? Anyway, you let me worry about that. You will have plenty of opportunities to have your honorable fight. Speaking of which, I suggest you change weapons. What is your problem with my Warhammer? It's slow, and you will need extra protection. I assume you have been trained to fight with a shield? Good. So this is the plan. In the first hours of darkness, I will be busy planting traps. Once most of them are deep in sleep, you walk into their camp. You mean sneak? I'm not really a sneaky person, Oh, no, 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 no. You walking right through the main entrance. That should get their attention. Exactly. And when the fight begins and the camp wakes up, the traps will trigger and there will be chaos. Fluffy and I will eliminate those who get through the traps and charge at you. But I reckon some will reach you still. Your job is to keep their attention and survive. If you can kill them, great, but if not, just don't get killed until we finish them. Well, that sounds great. How do I keep their attention? Just taunt them with something, shout at them, call them pigs or whatever. I think I can do that. So that was our plan. The day went by with preparations again. I got some supplies from the merchants. Wires, spikes, springs, things like that. I guess Benedric was praying or something. Then, when the sun was setting, we went north. We saw some orcs to the east in the distance, towards Stonewatch Keep. We would deal with them later. Our destination was in a canyon, close to the borders of the burning steppes. A moderate-sized camp, with a cave at the end. We stayed just out of sight, waiting for the night to pass. Around midnight, I thought it was time to plant my presents. Most of them were sleeping already, the sentries were getting distracted. 1 or 2 more hours and they would think, this is just another boring night. Perfect time to start an ambush. And by the Titans, ambush them we did. As we planned, Benedric started the fight at the entrance. The alarmed shouts woke up the camp, most of them shortly crying in agony as the barbed wires and spikes cut into them. A few of those pigs got my favorite gifts: explosive traps. Oh, the beautiful chaos. They had no idea what was going on, though the glowing paladin gave them a good target. I have to say, the lad knows how to fight, and he clearly wielded the power of the light. Fluffy was helping him, jumping from target to target, not letting anyone get behind him. There were some spellcasters too, nasty warlocks with their filthy magic. Those were my targets. A bullet between the eyes solves most problems, I found. Of course they started to look for me, so I had to stay low and move quietly from spot to spot. The fight didn't last long. The camp became silent. We had to check the cave as well. I was pretty sure some of them were hiding there too. And of course, I was right. Turned out the cave was their prison. Unfortunately, only one captive was still alive. Corporal Kishan. Poor lad, he was the last survivor of his regiment. The camp was cleared. Our job for the night was done. Benedric healed Kishan as much as he could, then we escorted him back to the town. He was a huge surprise. He was sent to the infirmary immediately, after a brief conversation. He will be fine from now on. The sun was rising by the time we could rest, so we decided we would only continue the next day. In the afternoon, I saw Benedric was training. Don't you want to rest? This is resting. I know it doesn't look like it, but still. You just want to impress your lady, don't you? Just teasing you, lad. I know what you mean. You know, you had yourself pretty well last night. Thank you. You were right, the orcs were not like the gnolls or kobolds. There were some moments I thought they would get the best of me, if Fluffy wasn't there. I think he was happy to be near you too. Where did you learn to fight like that? From the priests in Stormwind? Not exactly the priests, though I'm pretty sure some of them could teach a thing or two. No, I was trained just like the others. After the First War, the Stormwind army decided to have training opportunities for anyone who wanted, even as young as 10. So, you're noble then. Why did you think that? 10-year-old lads usually help at home with the work. If your folk could spare you while you were training, That means other people did the work for them. Good observation. What about you? You said you're not in the army anymore. Why did you leave? Maybe I was dismissed. You wouldn't be the king's envoy then, I believe. Good observation. Maybe I just didn't like the food. I see. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry. Don't worry about it, lad. Alright, keep on training. We will have a meeting later with the marshal and the magistrate. They said they have a contact who might help us with information. Sounds promising. You're doing some training as well until then? Aye, my fishing skills need improvement. So that's what we did. Fluffy was lying on the deck next to me while I attempted to catch some fish. When it was time, we went to the town hall. The marshal and the magistrate were there, with a man who was clearly a mage. His name was Theocritus, and he came from Elven Forest. He is a rival of Morganth, the warlock traitor, and offered his help. He said Morganth is living in the Tower of Irgalar to the east. He gathered a small army of Shadowhide gnolls to do his bidding. He suggested we deal with the gnolls first, because the tower itself is protected by a magical barrier, and the gnolls provide the solution to that problem. After a lot of research, he believes the gnolls communicate with their master through magical pendants. The marshal confirmed that the Shadowhide gnolls have been an issue even before the warlock appeared, and they were led by the brute called Fangor. Eliminating him, along with his closest followers, might lead the rest of them to scatter afterward. Our plan was almost the same, but we decided to execute it during the next night, since we still needed to rest after the orc camp. When the time came, we followed the road again to the north, then turned east shortly after. There was an abandoned sawmill in our path, a clear sign of how the threats in the area made the folk here leave their lives behind, so they could survive together in the town. Soon we passed the fork in the road. We headed forward toward the east, but the other path also led to south to Stonewatch Keep, our final target. We had to travel off the road because we crossed more and more patrols. Eventually, we reached our destination, the camp of the Shadowhide gnolls. Since we didn't want to alarm the whole area, I swapped my trusty gun for a crossbow. I didn't plant traps this time, we just pushed into the camp, relatively quietly. Fangor was surrounded by his followers, but they were no match for the three of us. We noticed that they were wearing the same pendants, very elegant, clearly not made by them. When I touched the one on Fangor, we suddenly heard a voice. I almost jumped out of my breeches, but it was just Theocritus. He had been working on a spell for some time to be able to use the pendant, and now he could finally test it. Probably he thought that the fact that we were scared to death was bloody hilarious. So I gently asked him not to do it again. Benedric said that if the magistrate heard what I said exactly, I would be punished. Mages. Anyway, he said the pendants should unlock the tower for us, so we thought, why not try it immediately? The tower was a small distance from the camp itself, to the southeast. The entrance was blocked by a purple, shimmering wall. We looked at each other. Do you want to go first? Not really, to be honest, but the light will protect me. Let's see if Theocritus was right. Still alive?
Yes, I'm inside.
Lovely. Oh, the people of faith, always willing to go first. Great for disarming traps, huh, Fluffy?
What was that?
I said we're coming too! The inside was nothing noteworthy. The stairs followed the round walls, leading to the upper floors. We heard the laughter of gnolls and movement. Our welcome party had noticed our arrival. We cut through them, Benedric leading the way as we climbed upward. At the top, Morganth was already waiting for us, with some of the remaining gnoll bodyguards next to him. Morganth, for your crimes against the people of Lakeshire and the Kingdom of Storm, Watch out! The warlock sent a bolt of shadow toward Benedric with a smile, followed immediately by the charge of the gnolls. He raised his shield just in time to block the attacks. I didn't finish his charges. I don't think he cares, lad. Now try to move aside so I can have a good shot at him. By the time there was a bit of room, I could see Morganth finishing a spell. There was a shimmer in the air, then a bloody abomination appeared. By the Titans, it was ugly and huge. A big undead monster made out of patchwork body parts. It was standing on 2 legs and had 2 arms, but it also had an extra limb here and there from different bodies. In all my years, I haven't seen anything like that. Benedric's eyes were wide open with horror for a second, then a furious determination appeared on his face. Might have been even scarier than the monster itself. Fluffy helped him with the gnolls, and then he raised his sword. From it, a blinding light shot at the monster, making it stop in the middle of its charge. It looked like it was burning it. Fluffy, my brave Fluffy, attacked it as well, giving Benedric a second for his next spell. Another great light appeared, launched at the head of the monster. Then it looked like it was actually trying to flee. I couldn't believe it. And apparently the warlock was shocked too. That smug smile disappeared from his face, replaced by disbelief. I shouted at Fluffy to get Morganth, and finally I could get my shot. I only got him in the shoulder, but my friend finished him. The second he was gone, the monster fell to the floor as well. By the Titans, lad. That was bloody good job. A bloody good job indeed. I wasn't sure if it was going to work. Fortunately, I've never had the chance to try exorcism before. He looked at the abomination with a mix of disgust, anger and sadness. How can someone conjure such a horrid creature? Why would someone even want to do that? It's about power, lad. Some people are willing to do all kinds of nasty things to get it. Now, let's get his notes to Theocritus. Maybe he can tell what the warlock was up to. We got back to town the same way, after midnight. Solomon and Maris were notified of our arrival, and the mage was in the town hall as well when we gave our report. They were all shocked about the abomination, shaking their heads at the madness of Morganth. Theocritus' mood quickly changed though, when we provided what we had retrieved from Morganth. He became excited like a child. He said he would start studying it immediately. After another round of congratulations, we finally went to the inn. I couldn't sleep for a while though. I kept imagining my face being stitched onto that abomination, a new addition to the collection of flesh. Ugh. I toyed with the idea of having a drink, something strong, but eventually tiredness got the best of me. In the morning, after breakfast, we went to the town hall again. Theocritus clearly hadn't slept at all, but at least he managed to gather some information. Apparently, Morganth had been looking for an old artifact, the Scythe of Elune, a powerful weapon made by the Night Elves thousands of years ago. He didn't find it though. Well, since we didn't learn anything useful from that, we talked about our last target, Stonewatch Keep. The leader of the Blackrock Orcs invading the area was there. His name was Geth Ilzog. His second in command, Terilzun, was the one responsible for the ambushes between Lakeshire and the keep. Maris also mentioned that there were spellcasters using devices of dark power, midnight orbs. These orbs had struck terrible blows against Redridge's defenders, and it was imperative that we remove these demon-tainted items from the conflict. I asked the mage if he was coming with us. Surely another spellcaster would be useful against such a force. He looked at me for a moment as if I were joking, but the magistrate and the marshal were waiting for an answer too. He then explained that he was more of a scholar. Studying in his own tower was his strength, he would be useless in a fight. To be honest, looking at him at that moment, he was probably right. Again, we spent the day resting and preparing, then we set out on the same road as the day before. We quickly reached the keep and saw the guards. With my crossbow, I managed to take some of them down in silence. Then we entered the broken gates in full assault. The Shadowcasters with their orbs were extremely dangerous. They could paralyze us for a short time, so we targeted them first, working our way toward the back of the courtyard. Terilzun was reportedly there. He was surrounded by some of his thugs, but as with Fangor, they were no match for us. After we cleared the courtyard, we entered the keep. Now we were in close quarters, and there were a lot of orcs, so I had to use the 2 axes I brought with me. The lad was surprised. He thought I only had those for decoration or something, that I could only shoot from a distance. I showed him that this old dwarf can use those axes just fine. Well, not that old, I'm just about 100. Anyway, we cleared the first floor and went to the second. There, in the main hall, we met Geth Ilzog. Of course he had some bodyguards, but he had a bloody dragon too. Alright, it was a small dragon, but still. It was spitting fire at us. I think my beard got burned too. Fluffy and Benedric charged at the orcs, while I quickly grabbed my crossbow and started playing hide and seek with that lizard. I was behind some cover when he flung a fireball at me. I loaded a new bolt, and then I shot. Finally I got it, just as it was opening its mouth, right through the brain, nailing that thing to the wall. Oh ho ho ho, it was a brilliant shot. Unfortunately, nobody saw it. Though the lads were almost finished with the orcs, I sent another bolt or 2 their way, just in case. And that was the end of it. We got back to the town victorious. The townsfolk were beyond happy. They said we had given them their lives back. They didn't have to hide in fear anymore. They insisted that we stay for a couple more days. The innkeeper ordered some supplies to hold a small town celebration by the order of the magistrate. Until they arrived, we enjoyed the hospitality of the town. I sent a letter to King Magni, reporting what had happened since I left. His reply came quickly, saying that I had completed my mission, and there was no longer any obligation to stay and protect Benedric. I thought about it for some time, but I don't know, the lad was starting to grow on me. There was definitely a spark of greatness in him. Maybe he could use some help in his next adventures. The supplies arrived, and we had a great celebration. The magistrate gave a nice speech, and the marshal confirmed that the scouts had reported the remaining gnolls and orcs, after fighting each other for a few days, had now scattered. Even Benedric was in a good mood, as we were having some drinks and watching the people dance and laugh. What was that? What? Was that a smile? By the Titans, your face can actually do that? Finally, the good people of Lakeshire can live in peace. They can start to rebuild what was lost. Aye, we did good, lad. So where does the light guide you next? Well, after Westfall and the Redridge Mountains, the last human territory in this region is Duskwood. There are reports of problems around Darkshire. So the hero of Stormwind continues his journey. Would you and Fluffy like to come? I don't know. Fluffy? Yeah, why not? Haven't been that far south in ages. And the celebration went on the whole night. After we woke up, we received plenty of supplies and good wishes. Then we stepped onto the road to the south, toward Duskwood. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.